How's it going, everybody? Today is September 12th, and I am watching the game. And just a little update, it is the third inning, and I do not have internet. I have not had internet all day long, and we've seen some good things so far. Gleyber Torres went deep in the first inning. Nestor Cortez has been very, very sharp so far. Jason Dominguez had an incredible 10-pitch at bat, spit on some really close pitches outside, and then singled through the right side. So right now it's 1-0. We're going, I think, to the top of the fourth now. I've asked Aiden to kind of go over what he saw for the rest of the game and fill in for me a little bit. Unfortunately, no back and forth comments tonight, but I'm going to get on the AT&T folks and see if we can get internet back for tomorrow. I'm sorry, it was bound to happen at some point during this podcast run that we had a night without internet. So doing my best. And by the way, great at bat for Dominguez. I want to believe. I'm trying to get that on camera. All right. So I'll see you guys as soon as my internet is back up and running.
All right, and welcome back to a very, very special edition of Pinstripe Territory. As Derek mentioned, his Wi-Fi is out, so he can't go live. I'll be your host tonight. I'll be taking over. It is a bit of an audible. We didn't decide to do this until about 8 p.m., so like 2.5 hours ago. So bear with me, as I figure this out. It's my first time doing it alone. Thankfully, I'm not doing it live, but there still is a lot to cover over the course of the game. I have a lot of notes right here that I'll just be going through. So the Yankees beat the Red Sox 2-1 off a walk-off double, really a single, but it was scored a double off of the bat of Juan Soto. But other than that, it was a pretty uneventful game. Let's just start with Nestor Cortez. He's one of the reasons this game was so uneventful offensively because he was pretty sharp. After being bumped to the bullpen last weekend, Nestor Cortez kind of shoved in his 5 innings, his first start back since coming out of the bullpen. And he made his case to stay in the rotation. After he came out of the bullpen against the Cubs this past weekend, he did have a little bit of comments about being kicked to the bullpen, how it's not really his thing, and he didn't feel great about it, but he just has to go and back up his talk, and that's what he did tonight. I thought he was pretty sharp, even though he had 3 walks. That's always my biggest gripes with pitchers and their starts. Just don't walk guys, but Yankees pitchers, and I think pitchers, just modern pitchers in general, do walk a lot of guys. But other than that, he was pretty sharp. His biggest feat of the night was striking out the Yankee killer Rafael Devers 3 times. That's a bit unheard of in a Yankees-Red Sox game. He did come out of the gate dealing, Nestor did. He was striking out a lot of guys to start the game. He struck out Duran and Devers back-to-back. His fastball was really, really effective and sharp. That's why he was so great tonight. He was getting a lot of swings and misses. It had a bit more oomph on it, totaled with 12 whiffs. His changeup and his sweeper, of course, were being mixed in there. His changeup a lot in the zone, his slider a lot out of the zone, but he did hang a sweeper or a slider, whichever. Actually, they're 2 different pitches, so a sweeper and a slider are different. I was about to say whatever you want to call it, but Nestor does throw a sweeper. It has more of that cutting action, but he laid a sweeper over the middle to Danny Jansen on a 2-2 count. And funny enough, earlier in the game, I want to say around the 2nd or 3rd inning, he walked Danny Jansen, and I was actually in class at this point during the game here at Fordham University, and I turned to my friend in class and I said, "How the hell do you walk Danny Jansen?" I guess that's why Jansen did take Nestor deep off of that sweeper, but it was 5 innings from Nestor tonight, only 3 hits, 1 earned run on that Jansen homer, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts. He's getting a lot of swing and miss. Like I keep saying, he's looked really, really sharp during this game. He looked really sharp when he came out of the bullpen against the Cubs. Something you want to see at this stretch of the season, especially with Nestor Cortez. He gave a solid and manageable start, and Ian Hamilton came and took over for him in the 6th inning in his first appearance back. We'll have a little bit more on him later. We're talking about this uneventful game. There was a lot of prevention of scoring from Nestor. Same for the White Sox or Red Sox rather. I'm sorry. I'm not so sure if it was the Red Sox pitching that was so great or if it was just the Yankees' lack of offense, because as we know, they have been in a bit of a lull over the past week or two or so. The first, 8 innings, the whole game was quiet. Six hits up to I think the 8th inning. Only one run to show for it in the first 9 innings for the Yankees off the Gleyber Torres wall scraper homer. Got to thank the short porch for that one. But like I said, I don't think it was so much the Red Sox that pitching that was so great that kept the Yankees from scoring. Cooper Criswell, he wasn't dominant. I don't think his stuff was really that great either. He only had 3 strikeouts, but he kept the Yankees at bay just by limiting damage contact, and they ended up only getting 4 hits off of him. So in the 6th inning, the Yankees seemed to be starting a rally. Wells started with the single, and then Jazz Chisholm got to first base, but there was a bit of a base running blunder by the both of them. I don't know if it was on Wells or if it was on Jazz, but Jazz looked like he was going to steal second. He started to go. It looked like he was almost halfway down the baseline, but then he realized, Austin Wells on second isn't running. Wells wasn't going anywhere, so Jazz tried to hustle back to first, but he was nailed out. And, that's kind of a rally killer right there. You go from 1 out and 2 men on to 2 outs with a runner on second. The Yankees almost salvaged that inning, though. There was a walk from Jason Dominguez right after that base running blunder, and then Rizzo followed with a walk. Volpe had an opportunity to, convert these runs, regain that lead with the bases loaded, but he ultimately lined out to left field. Thought it was hit hard. Check the numbers, not really. He only hit it 75 miles per hour off the bat. Really would like to see Volpe get his bat going. They're going to need him down the stretch. They need him on base, during the playoffs, because he's such a steal threat, and the Yankees are, gonna need to get runs wherever they can during the playoffs. But like I said, the Yankees wouldn't score again until the 10th when Soto brought in Berti with that ground ball through the middle of the infield. But that's it right there. The Yankees need that production from Soto and Judge. Soto has kind of started to get out of his little mini slump this week, but Judge not so much. The offense has to find other ways to produce, but there almost feels like there's no way around it. This offense is very, very reliant on really 2 of the best hitters in baseball. That's why they've been so good this year. It's not surprising the Yankees offense has been good because of 2 generational superstar hitters, but hopefully Judge will break out of this mini slump soon. People have been saying it's the Paw Patrol curse because since he had his episode of Paw Patrol debut, he's been hitting terribly. But like I said, they need him for these last couple weeks in this stretch of the season and the division race. You won tonight, but the Orioles are going to be on our necks until, the very last game. The Yankees need Judge to produce to win games. And, of course, they need him for the playoffs as well. So let's talk about Jason Dominguez, too. He only had 1 hit tonight. He did have a really awesome 10-pitch at-bat, as Derek mentioned at the beginning of the episode. He quickly went down 0-2 in that at-bat, and I was like, all right, he's just going to strike out. Let's get to the next batter. But he battled. He was fouling off pitches left and right. He worked the count, and he ended up getting a single through the right side of the infield. And he struck out in his second at-bat, but worked a 5-pitch walk in his third at-bat, and then struck out on 5 pitches in the 8th. Derek and I were talking about how encouraging his at-bats looked tonight, because before tonight's game, to me at least, and I did go back and look at his at-bats, he wasn't really seeing a ton of pitches, which I would like to see more. I really want to see Dominguez walk and, work long counts like, of course, Judge and Soto do, because Jason Dominguez is supposed to be an elite hitter. And what you want to see from elite hitter is working counts and walking. Haven't seen a lot from that, or haven't seen a lot of that from him so far. But he's a bit swing happy because he's a top prospect that just entered the big. So of course he's going to be a little swing happy, but tonight he was patient. It was different. Even when he wasn't taking pitches, he was fouling them off, battling, and he was just trying to make his at-bat impactful at the very least. For me personally, I do think we have to give him a bit of time, and that's why, it's frustrating that the Yankees waited so long to bring him up while Alex Verdugo was absolutely stinking it up. But nonetheless, this guy is going to be a good baseball player, and Derek agrees as well. I have a direct quote from him here. He said, as somebody who's watched baseball since 1987 and has missed 5 games since 1992, that's unbelievable. I'm finding that a little hard to believe, Derek, but I wouldn't put it past you. And has missed 5 games since 1992. I will tell you this. Jason Dominguez is going to be very, very good. I'd bet my house on it. If he doesn't get hurt, multiple time All-Star. So like we said, this guy is going to be a good player. It's really only a matter of time. Hopefully he does get going just in time for the playoffs, though, because that's really where the Yankees need him. He makes this lineup so much deeper. I can't tell you what a breath of fresh air it was to see the lineup on Tuesday, even though they didn't score any runs on Tuesday against the Royals. When they put out that lineup on Tuesday and I saw Jason Dominguez in there instead of Alex Verdugo, I was jumping for joy. You got that dream outfield of Dominguez, Judge, and Soto. The lineup looks so much deeper. You can put Volpe in the 9 hole. You don't have to, put him at 6 or 7. It's a much deeper lineup. I think the Yankees have to keep him in the lineup for the rest of the stretch of the season because you got to get him going for the playoffs. I think there is 0 point in playing Alex Verdugo at this point because he is not going to help you more than Jason Dominguez will in the playoffs. But moving on to the bullpen tonight. Really, really good performance from the bullpen tonight. They were kind of asked a lot coming in the 6th inning. Well, not really a lot. That's kind of just the modern starter. But they picked up where Nestor left off. Ian Hamilton, in his first appearance back since coming off the IL, took over in the 6th, and he retired all 5 batters he faced with 3 strikeouts. And Derek did text me noting how great he looked in this appearance. Tim Hill entered in the 7th with 2 outs and got a ground out on the first pitch. He take care of the 8th inning as well, retiring Jan Duran on a strikeout and Devers on a grounder to second. That's right. Tommy Kahnle had a bit of a stressful 9th inning and he got 2 strikeouts. It still felt super stressful even though he had a ton of swing and miss. It's weird because I like Tommy Kahnle. He's been one of the better pitchers out of the Yankees bullpen this year. But a lot of his appearances can get stressful, so I was kind of holding my breath that whole inning, and I was really holding my breath when they put him back out for the 10th with that ghost runner on second. But he got the first batter out, and then Clay Holmes entered the game. I think we all started to hold our breath there, but shockingly, he retired the next 2 batters to get out of the inning, and like I said, I was just shocked. But right after that, Juan Soto comes up to lead off in the 10th inning with John Berti as the ghost runner on second base, and he'd hit a ball through the middle of the infield to bring him in and win the ball game. So, big win for the Yankees, starting off on the right foot in this series with the Red Sox, a division series. Haven't checked what the Orioles score is yet. Hopefully they're losing, but anytime the Yankees are winning at this point in the season, it's a big one. You want to hold on to that division lead. I'd like to see it get past like 2-3 games or once, because I don't know if they've had, a division lead more than 3 or 4 games. Maybe not this season. I'm not even sure. But anyway, I now have the honor, the power of giving out the belt tonight. I do get to give it out when I'm the guest host on Postgame, but I have the sole power of giving the belt tonight. No sway or convincing from Derek on who he thinks should get the belt. There are a few deserving candidates. You got the few guys out of the bullpen that did a really good job. This might be a bit of an unpopular opinion because I know so many of us don't like him that much, but I almost wish I could give the belt to Aaron Boone because of how well he managed this game and this bullpen. It was a tight game. You know, certain lanes with pitchers, certain matchups out of the bullpen that you want to see. And I thought he did it pretty masterfully. You know, I felt a little off about bringing Canely back out for the 10th, even though it was the right move against a left-hander. But I still felt off because Canely can be a little stressful, but I was wrong. Aaron Boone made the right move there. But anyway, I'm not going to give the belt to Aaron Boone. Don't think that's ever been done before. I'm sure it won't be done before because I know Derek really doesn't like him. But ultimately, I'll be giving that belt to Juan Soto because he once again came up in a huge spot to help the Yankees win. He came up, not that it matters, not that it goes into tonight's decision, but he did come up pretty big for the Yankees last night, hitting that go-ahead home run. But yeah, Juan Soto gets the belt. Pretty uneventful game for the Yankees, only 2-1. They got their 2 runs off that Glaber homer to the short porch and that Juan Soto RBI single, RBI double, depending how you want to score it. I think MLB.com is scoring it a double still. But that's all I have for you guys tonight. Of course, a much shorter post game given Derek's circumstances, but I hope you guys still enjoyed. Even with my rambling, some of my stutters and miscues, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it with an unfamiliar host and me. You guys can, of course, call in for the voicemail show. The number to call is 718-899-1068, and maybe, just maybe, Derek will respond to your take in the next video. I know he loves doing those voicemail videos and interacting with you guys, and as the manager of our social media pages, it would be irresponsible, just stupid of me to not tell you guys to go follow our Instagram, our TikTok, our X, our Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and all you know, the social media stuff. Go follow us there. You know, putting out a lot of vertical videos, a lot of clips from our post games, our voicemail shows on there, and so yeah, that's all I have for you guys tonight. Derek tells me that he will hopefully be back tomorrow if his Wi-Fi comes back, and I think he will, given this day and age. Internet companies, AT&T, fixes outages as fast as they can because everybody you know, relies on the internet to work these days, it feels like. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Got a word from one of our sponsors at the end of this video, but I'm Aiden Bayshop with Pinstripe Territory. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you soon, and let's go Yankees.
This one is for the dudes. You know how scary it can get when you're going for that close shave below the belt. That's why Pinstripe Territory trusts MANSCAPED for those sensitive areas. Their newest package, the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, including the star of the show, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. This 5th generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. And Manscaped didn't stop there. They even threw in 2 free gifts with their Performance Package 5.0, the Manscaped Boxers, these are amazing, and the Shed Travel Bag. Looking for more wet products? Say no more. Manscaped's got the new Buff Bundle, which includes their signature silicone scrubber plus body wash. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and take advantage of our exclusive offer. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use the code FOUL20. Again, that's manscaped.com. Use the code FOUL20.